So after the first training, of course, we had started the experience capitalization process. We had not finished even us as learners then. So we had to do a second and a third workshop, one in Arusha and another one in Kigali, where we had now to complete a process, because now for you to become even a facilitator and a champion in your organization, you have to go through the whole process of you capitalizing an experience before you can go tell another person that you can also do the same. So we had to finish our cases. By the time we were doing our third workshop in Arusha, we were actually now writing the cases. We had collected data, we had now analyzed, went back to our organization, did interview and filled the gaps that were missing in the information, and now it was just time for us now to publish. And that is one of the publications that you can find now on CTA website, talking about the East African cases. Yeah, so after we did that, so the next step was, now after we did the publication, so one of the outcomes in the last workshop was that now as champions, as facilitators, you have gone through the process, you have seen it can actually yield to results. What is the action plan? What action plan are you making to go and continue with the process? Because at the end of the day, EC needs to be institutionalized within the organizations where we are working. So when we went back, we had already developed an action plan. And one of the things we wanted to do was, first of all, create awareness with the top management, not only the chief executive director, but also the other senior management teams. And we were lucky because the two of us who were champions, we happened to be part of the senior management team. So we introduced the concept to the other three remaining senior management teams. And then during our staff meeting, we were able to identify two key staff. Key in the sense that they were implementing interventions that were cutting across in the whole country. So that meant working with them, they have a wider reach in terms of the field staff whom they have contact with, and even the number of cases that we are able to, follow up and try to integrate this process. So it made a lot of sense to work with them, because these are people who would reach as many people in terms of our members and stakeholders as possible. Of course, we had other staff members, but you'll find that there's a staff member who is maybe dealing with a project in one region of the country, or two regions of the country. So we felt, let's start with the ones who are covering the entire country, and then as we continuously introduce the approach within the organization, then we can bring on board other staff members. So we started with the first two immediate staff members whom we considered key. One was implementing a program on climate smart agriculture, and the other one was in charge of membership and program implementation. So these two colleagues, we took them through the process. It was an informal sitting in our office. They got interested. What is this that you're talking about, experience capitalization? It looks so complicated. So after we took them through the process, they were like, but this is documentation and we have been doing this. So we said, yes, it's documentation, but if you listen keenly and look at the processes that we are following, it's a very systematic process. You're not just sitting there and picking ideas from all over the place. It has a systematic way of guiding you to collect the relevant information. And after collecting the relevant information, of course, from relevant people, you're able to analyze it, and then you do a reflection. Why did we achieve these results? We got positive results and negatives, and you're able to explain the various scenarios that you're seeing coming out of the process. So they were like, okay, so with experience capitalization, we have an additional, there's some bit of an element that we are adding on our conventional documentation process that is making this a little bit unique and a better way of, collecting information and writing about success. Actually, in our organization, we are calling them success stories from programs we are implementing. So we have a better way of now documenting success stories, not just for the sake of telling people, hey, we got money from IFAD, we did A, B, and C, and these are the results, but you're simply telling them, yes, we got money, we worked with people, these are the results we are seeing, but these results have also brought about this particular change, which we believe can also be adopted somewhere else as it is, or adapted depending on the context where it is going, or from the failures that we have seen in this program, it provides us a platform where we can learn and improve now for future program implementation. So that's how it went. I remember the first case that we did a documentation on with my colleague. We were then implementing a program that was supported by World Bank, and it was on enhancing entrepreneurship and also looking at food governance issues around food security and nutrition security. And it was one of those documented cases that informed the development of a policy and lobby strategy for my former organization then. So we were able to develop a policy and lobby strategy paper based on the cases that we had indicated, because now we could see for us to achieve a policy change, we had several steps that we needed to follow. For once, we were able to see, so all this time we've been engaging so many stakeholders, but we didn't know. But now when you are documenting, you're able to reflect and go back, yeah, we involved the national government, yes, at some point we had to call the county government, yeah, and we had to reach out to the local people, and for us to get views from the farmers, we had to conduct consultative meetings. For once now we were able to see the entire process in a very clear, systematic and logical way, and therefore this now informed us in writing a lobby and policy strategy for our organization. How do you start to lobby? Where do you start? How do you consolidate ideas from members and stakeholders? How do you package this? How do you present it to the relevant authorities? How do you make a follow-up to make sure that these policies have been implemented or changed or reviewed if that's what you wanted from the beginning?